Distinguished delegates, you are invited to take your seat. The Committee of the Whole will proceed now. Thank you.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I call to order the 5th meeting of the Committee of the Whole of the 15th session of the Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. The committee will now proceed to take action on the pending draft proposal before it. In this regard, I would like to remind delegations of how I intend to proceed as agreed by the committee yesterday. I will first take up all the proposals of draft decisions for adoption by agenda item. After all the decisions are adopted, I will open the floor for the statements by regional and interest groups. May I take it that this proposal is agreeable to all? Hearing no objection, we shall continue to conduct our work today in the same manner. I now invite to the committee to resume its consideration of sub-item 2C entitled Follow-up on the Midterm Evaluation of the UNCCD 2018-2030 Strategic Framework in order to take action on a draft decision. The draft decision is entitled Modalities, Criteria, and Terms of Reference for a Midterm Evaluation of the 2018-2030 Strategic Framework of the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification and contained in document ICCD/COP15/L17. May I take it that the committee wishes to adopt the draft decision contained in document ICCD/COP15/L17 and recommend it to the Conference of the Parties for its adoption. Sierra Leona, please have the floor. Thank you. May I take it the committee wishes to adopt the draft decision contained in document ICCD/COP15/L17 and recommend it to the Conference of the Parties for its adoption? Hearing no objection, it's so decided. I now invite the committee to resume its consideration of item 3 entitled Promotion and Strengthening of Relationships with Other Relevant Conventions and International Organizations, Institutions, and Agencies in order to take action on a draft decision. The draft decision is entitled Promotion and Strengthening of Relationships with Other Relevant Conventions and International Organizations, Institutions, and Agencies, and contained in document ICCD/COP15/L18. May I take it that the committee wishes to adopt the draft decision contained in document ICC/COP15/L18 and recommend it to the Conference of the Parties for its adoption. Hearing no objection, it's so decided. I now invite the committee to resume its consideration of item 4 entitled Policy, Frameworks, and Thematic Issues in order to take action on 2 draft decisions submitted on the issues of drought and gender. The first draft decision is entitled Policy Advocacy on Drought and contained in document ICCD/COP15/L23. May I take it that the committee wishes to adopt the draft decision contained in document ICCD/COP15/L23 and recommend it to the Conference of the Parties for its adoption? Hearing no objection, it's so decided. The second draft decision is entitled Abidjan Declaration on Gender and Report from the Gender Caucus and contained in document ICCD/COP15/22. I would like now to invite Mr. Bamba from Côte d'Ivoire inform to committee about this report. Mr. Bamba, have the floor, please. Is Mr. Bamba here? We will come back later to hear this decision. Let's continue. Thank you. I now invite the committee to resume its consideration of item 6 entitled Program and Budget, and its sub-items A, Program and Budget for the biennium 2022-2023, B, Financial Performance from the Convention Trust Funds, and report of the Evaluation Office in order to take action on 2 draft decisions. The first draft decision is entitled Multi-Year Work Plan from the Convention Institutions 2022-2025 and contained in document ICCD/COP15/L19. May I take it that the committee wishes to adopt the draft decision contained in document ICCD/COP15/L19 and recommend it the Conference of the Parties for its adoption? Hearing no objection, it's so decided. The second draft decision is entitled Program and Budget for the Triennium 2022-2024 and contained in document ICCD/COP15/L24. May I take it the committee wishes to adopt the draft decision contained in document ICCD/COP15/L24 and recommend it to the Conference of the Parties for its adoption? Hearing no objection, it's so decided. I now invite to the committee to resume its consideration of item 7 entitled Procedural Matters, sub-item A, participation and involvement of civil society organization in meetings and progress of the United Nations Convention to combat desertification in order to take action on one draft decision. The draft decision is entitled Participation and Involvement of Civil Society Organization in Meetings and Process of the United Nations Convention to combat desertification and contain it in document ICCD/COP15/L14. May I take it that the committee wishes to adopt the draft decision contained in document ICCD/COP15/L14 and recommend it the Conference of the Parties for its adoption. Hearing no objection, it's so decided. I now invite the committee to resume its consideration of item 7 entitled Procedural Matters, sub-item B, participation and involvement of the private sector in meetings and process of the United Nations Convention to combat desertification and the business engagement strategy in order to take action on one draft decision. The draft decision is entitled Participation and Involvement of Private Sectors in Meetings and Process of the United Nations Convention to combat desertification and contained in document ICCD/COP15/L15. May I take it that the committee wishes to adopt the draft decision contained in document ICCD/COP15/L15 and recommend it to the Conference of the Parties for its adoption. Hearing no objections, it's so decided. I now invite the committee to resume its consideration of item 7C entitled Program of Work for the 16th session of the Conference of the Parties in order to take action on one draft decision. The draft decision is entitled Program of Work of the 16th session of the Conference of the Parties and contained in document ICCD/COP15/L21. May I take it that the committee wishes to adopt the draft decision contained in document ICCD/COP15/L21 and recommend it to the Conference of the Parties for its adoption. Hearing no objection, it's so decided. The committee has thus concluded its consideration of agenda item 7. I now invite the committee to resume its consideration of item 4 entitled Policy Frameworks and Thematic Issues in order to take action on one draft decision sub-item on gender. I would like now to invite Mr. Bamba from Côte d'Ivoire for informing the committee about this report. Mr. Bamba, have the floor, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to read up the Abidjan Declaration and the Gender Caucus report. At the UNCCD's 15th Conference of the Parties held in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, the Gender Caucus met at 3 sessions, with more than 640 participants altogether. The Gender Caucus high-level event was hosted by the First Lady of Côte d'Ivoire, Madame Dominique Ouattara, and attended by the UNCCD Executive Secretary, Mr. Ibrahim Thiaw, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Mrs. Amina Mohamed, the President of the General Assembly of the United Nations, Mr. Abdullah Shahid, the former President of Finland, Mr. Taja Halonen, and several high-level officials and ministers. On this occasion, the Abidjan Declaration on Achieving Gender Equality for Successful Land Restoration was launched, and several countries already joined the declaration. The other 2 sessions of the Gender Caucus was co-chaired by Canada and Côte d'Ivoire, respectively, represented by the head of delegation, Mr. Hong Hu-Yu, and the Minister of Women Affairs, Mrs. Nassine Bature. Dozens of parties attended the Gender Caucus sessions, including Antigua and Barbuda, Bangladesh, Belarus, Belize, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Canada, Cuba, Equatorial Guinea, European Union, Finland, France, Germany, Ghana, Guinea, Honduras, Israel, Côte d'Ivoire, Kenya, Lebanon, Mexico, Morocco, Nicaragua, Niger, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Tanzania, Turkey, Venezuela, Vietnam, and Zambia. In addition, numerous civil society organizations and observers took part in the discussions, as well as international organizations, including UN Women, the Food and Agriculture Organization, the Global Environment Facility, the African Development Bank, the Asian Development Bank, UNDP, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and 2 other Rio Conventions, UNCVD and UNFCCC. Recommendations were formulated during the Gender Caucus sessions by global leaders, ministers, civil society organizations, women farmers and entrepreneurs, DLDD, and gender experts. These recommendations include enhance women organization participation in the UNCCD processes, including through the facilitation of their accreditation process. Number 2, increase parity in the UNCCD constituted bodies. Number 3, monitor women's participation in the UNCCD processes and regularly share such information with the COP and the Gender Caucus. Number 4, involve media and grassroots organizations in communications, knowledge, and awareness-raising activities at the local and national level. Number 5, invite Gender Caucus to play an advisory role between the COPs and foster information sharing on an ongoing basis in addition to meeting in person during the COP. This could be facilitated by the Secretariat via a mailing list including parties, accredited CSOs, and observers. Number 6, involve members of the caucus in strategy activities led by the Secretariat and the global mechanism related to gender. Number 7, continue advocating for women's land rights and encourage national legal reforms related to land tenure. Number 8, enhance synergies with the other Rio Conventions. And finally, develop and disseminate gender-related knowledge on the GAP 4 priorities for action. These recommendations were shared with parties for their consideration during the negotiation. This is, Mr. Chairman, the quintessential of the report of the Gender Caucus, and I thank you.
I thank Mr. Bamba for his statement. May I take it that the committee wishes to adopt the draft decision contained in document ICCD/COP15/L22 and recommend it to the Conference of the Parties for its adoption? Hearing no objections, it's so decided. Distinguished Delegate Dear College, with that, the committee has thus concluded its consideration of all the items allowed by the COP for discussion and finalization. I will present the report of the committee shortly to the Conference of the Parties for its consideration and action on the decision recommended by the Committee of the Whole. Let me now open the floor for any intervention in connection with the outcomes that were covered today. Are there any delegations wishing to take the floor? I see no requests to the floor. We have thus completed our program of work for the Committee of the Whole. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all delegation and the facilitators of Contact Group 1, Mr. Taylor, friends, and Contact Group 2, Mr. Abdelati Ajit, for this support to the work of the committee, the constructive engagement and flexibility on all in contributing to the success of the work of the committee. I would also like to thank the Secretariat for its assistance. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Distinguished delegate, you are kindly invited to remain at your seats. The COP plenary will start immediately. Thank you.